Dwayne Haskins destinations coming at you here, NFL Daily by Chat Sports. But before we get into them, today's show is presented by our good friends Manscaped. I don't think Dwayne Haskins was using any Manscaped when he went to all those strip clubs, but you guys can. Go to manscaped.com/chat, 20% off, and get some free shipping. All right, Harrison, let's talk about Haskins because the Washington football team, they let him go on Monday. He is no longer a member of the team.
Yeah, he's gone. They're going to roll with Taylor Heineke if Alex Smith can't go, which speaks volumes for the former first-round pick, but that's neither here nor there. He'll hit waivers on Tuesday. I don't think he gets claimed because, A, it's late in the year, and B, he's still on that high first-round pick rookie contract. I don't think a team's going to pick that up, so he will become a free agent. It could be a scenario, Mitch, where teams will just let this season play out, and then they sign him in the offseason, which probably is most likely because, let's be honest, he's been a disaster in 2 seasons.
So here's a quote from Ron Rivera. This is Ron Rivera's statement. This afternoon I met with Dwayne and informed him that we would be releasing him. I told him that I believe in benefits both parties, that we go our separate ways. We want to thank Dwayne for his contributions these last 2 seasons, and we wish him well moving forward.
Thanks for going to the strip club and potentially costing us a playoff spot.
I mean, Riverboat Ron's always about rolling the dice, and he was done rolling the dice with Dwayne Haskins. Here's Dwayne Haskins' statement on Twitter. My time with the Washington football team has unfortunately come to an end. I thank the team and fans for the opportunity to play for the team I grew up rooting for. I take full responsibility for not meeting the standards of an NFL quarterback and will become a better man and player because of this experience.
Imagine getting drafted by your childhood favorite team and just not putting in the work. That speaks volumes to me. But we'll let you guys answer this question. Which team should sign Dwayne Haskins? We'll get into our top 5 teams in just a little bit. But let us know. This is the pinned comment on today's video. Which team should sign Dwayne Haskins?
Honestly, Harrison, maybe nobody should go out and sign this guy because he is definitely immature. But you know what? We try to put some teams together. We try to look into the crystal ball, and we didn't want to rank the teams because, honestly, some of these are just dart throws. We're just being 100% honest. But what we did here on today's show is break down some of Dwayne Haskins' destinations, and they're coming up right now. First one, the Houston Texans, and obviously Deshaun Watson is the starter. But besides him, they got no one.
I think Haskins needs to be looking at 2 situations. One, a team that's got a stable franchise quarterback that he can learn under, Deshaun Watson. Or 2, a team that maybe has a chance to go compete for a starting job. We'll get to a couple of those teams in a minute. A.J. McCarron, free agent after this year. I think Deshaun Watson, a young quarterback with similar attributes in some sense, strong arm, is a guy he could learn under from. Now, they got to hire a coach. Who's the coach going to be? If Eric Bieniemy gets that job, I'm very intrigued if I'm Dwayne Haskins to learn under him, to learn under Deshaun Watson. So I think you got to wait and see how that plays out. But I think that could be an upgrade for Houston and a good situation for Haskins because obviously Josh McCown, he's 75 years old. He's not going to be in the league next year. A.J. McCarron, he's an okay backup. I'd rather bring in a guy, or I'd potentially take a chance on Haskins, who could potentially develop. Maybe he becomes a trade chip down the road and learn behind Deshaun Watson with the Houston Texans. I think the Texans could make some sense. We'll see what ends up happening there.
I'll be honest, I don't know if there's any saving Dwayne Haskins' career, but you guys can save your balls if they're super hairy. Thanks to our sponsor, Manscaped. Get the perfect package at manscaped.com/chat. 20% off and free shipping if you're looking to have the best balls in the business. Ooh. What comes in the perfect package? The Lawnmower 3.0. This thing fits great in your hand. It's got an awesome battery life, and I promise you, no tugging whatsoever. Well, it might lead to some tugging. And also, she might want to rub up on these boxers because they are so comfortable. Anytime I go anywhere, whether it's like a dinner date or whatever, my girlfriend's always like, Mitch, you better have your Manscaped boxers on.
Dwayne Haskins would throw a better ball if he was with Manscaped. I can tell you that right now. Manscaped.com/chat. The perfect package also comes with ball deodorant. It comes with ball toner because, Mitch, if you wear deodorant under your arms, you should wear it on your balls as well because it gets stinky down there. Manscaped.com/chat. Get going with Manscaped. 20% off plus free shipping. It's the best deal out there for the best men's grooming tools out there. Take advantage with our friends at Manscaped. Help our sponsors out because they help us out. Keep the lights on here at Chat Sports.
Next, Dwayne Haskins destination we're going to dive into is the New England Patriots because he actually might be the best quarterback on that team right now.
They just have – I'm so fascinated to see what the Patriots do this offseason because they kind of bit the bullet this year. They didn't have a lot of money. They were able to sign Cam Newton for cheap, but I think it's pretty clear they're not going to bring him back. I think he'll look for a new situation. I think at this point, Cam needs a lot of talent around him, a lot of weapons, and they don't have that in New England.
Yep.
So I think Dwayne Haskins, maybe he views this as, hey, Patriots, they're all business. I can hit the reset button. Maybe I have a chance to start there. Who knows? I don't know if I'm a team if I would look at Haskins as a potential starter, but this could be one of the few teams where there is an opening in the NFL.
I was just going to say that if Haskins still believes that he is a starting quarterback, and I believe he does, right? He was drafted first in the first round, 15th overall, so he probably looks at himself as being a starting caliber quarterback, and I actually think New England does give him the best chance to be able to do that. And if it ends up happening, the main story is going to go from being Dwayne Haskins being a disaster to watch the Patriots turn a 23-year-old quarterback drafted in round 1 into this just amazing player. My only problem with that is if Haskins thought it was tough playing under Ron Rivera, he is going to have a nightmare playing underneath Bill Belichick because Bill Belichick will eat him alive.
And the thing about the Patriots, they got to get some weapons, man. Demir Bird, he's bad, all right? You don't have the quarterback for the future. That's why maybe Haskins is an option there. But New England's got to retool this offense, starting with the quarterback, but also adding talent at receiver and at tight end. Fascinated to see how that plays out in New England this offseason.
So go down in the comments and predict who will be the Patriots starting quarterback in 2021. I'm going to go out on a limb here. I'm going to say it's going to be Jimmy Garoppolo.
Whoo!
I'm going to get hot takey. I think Jimmy Garoppolo will be the starting quarterback for the Patriots in 2021.
I like that prediction.
Yeah?
That's a good one.
All right, let's keep it moving here. The Pittsburgh Steelers, they're next up on this list. And out of a lot of the teams that we're about to bring up, this might be my favorite because if Ben Roethlisberger stays, there is a clear, and I mean clear need for a backup.
And my thing is, I actually like it more. A lot of you guys probably think, oh, Big Ben could retire, and then maybe Haskins could go start. I actually like it better for Haskins if he stays.
Yeah.
You learn under a guy who's been in the league for almost 20 years. You can sit back. You can say, hey, I'm not playing this year. I know that. I'm going to soak up information. I'm going to learn. It kind of reminds me of Jameis in New Orleans. If he ends up being a good starter, I think this year in New Orleans will have gone a long way to doing just that. I view this similarly for Haskins going into a situation with, hey, this guy may not be the starter long term. Maybe I could be that guy. Maybe I could be the guy that learns under Big Ben and becomes the starter. We know Rudolph and Josh Dobbs are not the guys. Like Duck Hodges, great name, bad quarterback. That's just the deal there. So I think if Big Ben comes back for a year, Mitch, Haskins could be a good option.
I also like the idea of a coach like a Mike Tomlin who doesn't take bullcrap and
no-nonsense franchise.
Can really, I think, get down with Dwayne and say, hey, this is what you need to do in order to succeed. This is how the Steelers have been successful for so long. And I think if there is a coach that can communicate to Dwayne Haskins the best, Mike Tomlin's definitely up there. So what do y'all think? Will Big Ben retire after this season? Y for yes or type N for no? He has already come out and said that he plans on playing next year. However, I don't believe anything that Ben Roethlisberger has ever said in his entire life. And also, this is just what Ben does. He says that he's going to retire. He ends up coming back. But if they win a Super Bowl, I don't think it's going to happen anymore.
Drop the mic, walk away.
I think he ends up dropping the mic and walking away. You think he's coming back?
I think he'll play one more season.
Okay.
One more year.
Well, if he does end up retiring, we're going to be making a video about him. Probably going to be trying to figure out who's going to be the freaking Pittsburgh Steelers starting quarterback. Whenever there's breaking NFL news, we got you covered here. So what I want you guys to do right now, appreciate this. Go down underneath the video, hit that big red button that says subscribe. That way you don't miss anything around the latest NFL news and rumors or for the breaking news, that stuff gets really exciting. The Detroit Lions, next up here in my Dwayne Haskins destination. Stafford is starting to get older, and you're going to see the Lions start switching up a lot of stuff.
Yeah, this is like a deep dark horse team for me. I don't feel great about it for a couple reasons. One, Matt Stafford's still in his prime, and I think a new coaching staff is probably going to get in there and view him as the starter. And two, while Chase Daniel cutting him only cost $3 million, that's still a decent amount for a backup to just eat $3 million for your backup. Yep. Chase Daniel's bad, by the way. Shout out to him for securing the bag for 15 years now. I think the new head coach will factor in a lot here. What direction do they want to go in? What type of offense are they going to run? Does a new coaching staff feel good about Dwayne Haskins' talents? I think that'll go a long way here if they are going to consider bringing him on board. I think this one's a deeper dark horse because Stafford is still a good quarterback, but I think they could make some sense for Dwayne Haskins.
So what's the better job? Like, I want you to consider this from a, let's say,
head coach. If you're a head coaching candidate and you've got options, which job do you want?
The Detroit Lions or the Houston Texans? I think this one's really easy.
I do too. It's the Texans. I love Matt Stafford, but he's not 25. Deshaun Watson is.
And
it's the Texans.
As much of a nightmare as I think this draft is going to be for Houston, who doesn't have a first or a second round pick, and Bill O'Brien really tried to just tear it down, you have Deshaun Watson. And that's really where this argument ends for me. And everyone watching live right now, I see Jacob, Shelley, Sinai, Matt Solomon. They're all typing HOU for the Houston Texans as well. All right, the last team on our Dwayne Haskins destination, it's the Seattle Seahawks, who I think the first note you have here is perfect. They just believe in second chances.
Look, Pete Carroll historically has given guys a second chance. He's brought in guys that have had legal issues off the field, guys who have flamed out with one organization. He's okay with giving guys opportunities, especially if they have talent, which, say what we want about Haskins, there's talent in there somewhere.
Yep.
He had the best statistical season in the history of the Big Ten Conference in 2018. That's pretty meaningful, if you ask me. Now, that's 2 years ago. That's college football versus the NFL, but I think this makes sense. Geno Smith's a free agent. The Seahawks typically only carry 2 quarterbacks. Smith is bad. Russell Wilson, you want to talk about a guy you can learn under from? I think this could be the perfect situation for Dwayne Haskins. I'd love to see him end up in Seattle. I think it would give them a more credible backup quarterback as well if something did happen to Russell Wilson. And again, I think for Haskins, if you're him, you have to look at yourself and say, hey, what is the best chance for me to have a long career? Is it to go to New England and try to start with a bad offensive core group? Or is it to go to a Pittsburgh or Seattle and play with a stable franchise with a franchise quarterback in place? I think it's the latter. That's just my opinion. Geno ain't a good backup, so why not go to Seattle and learn under Russell Wilson? I think that could be fun for both parties.
I totally agree with your point there. I do think his objective should be, how can I get paid and stay in the NFL for the longest? Maybe you should go to the Lions, learn underneath, what's his name?
Matt Stafford?
No, not Matt Stafford. Their backup.
Chase
Daniel, that's what he needs to
take
end
a
up
page
doing.
out of the Chase Daniel book, my friend. That is an inspiration.
So we made this video trying to wrap our mind around which team's going to go out and bring in Dwayne Haskins. So what we want you guys to do, if you made it this far in the video, go down in the comments, please. We would appreciate it, and let us know which team should go out and sign Dwayne Haskins.